1160. Feel free to give us a call, 513-579-1160. Or if you're not near a telephone, feel free to jump on Facebook. Jimmy V has got that up, as well as the mic to his forehead, and he will monitor that for any questions that you may have. You can also check us out at dipsticksanddeals.com for any upcoming events, remote broadcasts that we may have, and also some tips as far as maintenance of your car, and then we'll give some buying tips as well, as soon as I feel like writing something and putting it on there.
And if you've got specific vehicle questions, whether buying, selling, trading, fixing, whatever, you can always go send an email to us at ask@dipsticksanddeals.com, and we will respond.
Ask dipsticksanddeals.com. That number is 579-1160, and that's area code 513 for you wonderful folks in the great state of Kentucky. We were talking about finding the vehicle that you're looking for online, which is, again, what 85% of people do now, and trying to establish what is the best deal for you before you actually go to a dealership. To give you an example, let's say, and I like to use 2010 Impala because I happen to be driving one as a demonstrator, and
Demonstrator.
you know, it's like a car that you drive to show people when you sell them. And they are nice.
That's just very technical.
They are nice, and Rocky has probably 3 or 4 of them on their lot right now, and they have LSs and LTs. And that is one of the things that I want to point out to people, that first thing you want to do is list what equipment that are must-haves for you. And what I mean by that, if you're somebody that has to have a power seat in the vehicle, that it's a deal breaker, that you can't buy a car that doesn't have a power seat, that needs to be one of the items that you do a search on. Because what's going to happen if you don't do that? And I've seen it happen time and time again, is you're going to say, I want a 2010 Chevy Impala, and you get on and you do the search for a 2010 Chevy Impala, and as I stated before, they're going to start highest price to lowest price, and if you don't do a drill down on that search, you're going to get every 2010 Impala that's made, whether it is an LS, an LT, or an LTZ. Now, the difference between those packages on this particular car is the amount of equipment that's on there. An LS would be a base model, LT would be a step up with a little additional equipment. To give you an example, the difference between an LS and an LT, on an LT you're going to have aluminum wheels, LS has a hubcap. You have heated mirrors on an LT. You have fog lamps, a spoiler's available, dual climate control. You have options that you can get on an LT that are not available on an LS, such as floor mat, the power seat on the passenger side, and a power moonroof. So again, if you're wanting an LT, because let's say you decide, okay, I want aluminum wheels, I don't want hubcaps. Now you're searching for just specifically an LT. Is that enough of a drill down? No, it's not, because there are options available on an LT, such as a moonroof, such as a power passenger seat, and if all those LTs show up and you're looking at a higher priced vehicle, let's say there's one out there that's $18,900 and you see one right below it that's $18,495, and they have the same miles on them, which one's the better deal? That's why you got to drill down, because if you don't drill down, you might be missing the fact that the one that is $18,900, which is only $500 more, has a power moonroof on it, has a spoiler on it, has the power passenger seat, which is optional equipment that's not going to show up on the search unless you actually click on that vehicle. So without a drill down on the search, you're going to miss out on the best value, and that's really what's important, getting the best value for your money. It's not the cheapest price.
If you find the vehicle that you're looking for after you drill it down, what is a consumer really getting into if they do one of those online credit-apps? This is getting a little bit away from the actual vehicle itself, but I'm curious to know, because I know a lot of people are hesitant to do anything like that online.
Well, Rocky Automotive has a secure online credit application, and it's a secure site, and it's encrypted, and the company that they use will create a secure connection that is always, and I don't know the technical aspects of it, but I know that it's always changing. So when you're on there, your information is totally safe. We've used that there for years and have never had any sort of issue with anybody's private information being compromised in any way.
So it's a good idea.
It's absolutely.
If you find that vehicle especially.
Yeah, go ahead and go submit your credit app. Now, I can't speak for other dealerships. I can only speak for Rocky Automotive. And if you go to GoRocky.com, you'll see their online credit application. It is a secure online credit application, and your information is encrypted and protected. And you can go ahead and get pre-approved, and that makes the process a lot easier because the time spent in the dealership, depending on how busy they are when you get there, can sometimes be a little bit longer than you feel like hanging out in one. So the more you can get done ahead of time, the less time you're going to spend in the dealership, which is going to make the car buying process a lot easier for you.
And you don't want to do that on every site. You want to lock in the car.
No, yeah. You want to, number one, you got to make sure it's a reputable place. I wouldn't go to CarsRUs.com if they say that, you know, they represent all dealers and they'll submit your credit app to whoever has the car. I would be leery of a place like that. Go to a local dealer like Rocky Automotive, and you know, because they're doing business in your hometown, that their success relies on your satisfaction. So they're going to make sure that they have your information protected, where a place like CarsRUs.com might be somebody in India that's collecting your personal information to steal your identity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And that's pretty much...
It's like, who was that?
That was Peggy. Peggy with a deep voice. Okay, it looks like we have a phone call from Sam. I'm not sure where Sam's from, but I'm assuming she's from the Cincinnati area. Sam, you're live with Dipsticks and Deals on Real Talk 1160. What's your question? Well, that's a good question, Sam. And what you want to do is, again, before you go out and search, once you narrow down the model that you're looking for, and most people have an idea, okay, I want a Mustang, I want an Impala, I want a Cobalt, I want a Fusion, what have you. It's important to decide what those non-negotiable options are, things that you have to have and you can't live without. If you have to have a car with a moonroof, that's got to be in your drill down search. Because what I've seen happen, and I was going to mention that before and didn't get to it, so I'm glad you asked this question, time and time again, is people will do that generic search without putting in their non-negotiable items, and they go get to the dealership, and unfortunately in today's world, people are so limited in the amount of time they have because, you know, we're working longer hours, you got so many things going on with the kids. They get to the store and find out, wow, I didn't search for that, I'm missing that non-negotiable item on the car, and they don't want to go back and start over. So they end up either compromising and giving up that piece of equipment that they had made up in their mind that they didn't want to be without, or they end up getting a car that has it that wasn't their first choice. So finding that non-negotiable item in your mind, what you have to have on the car, include that in your search, and you're going to be able to narrow that down and get the car that you want.
Good question.
It's a good question, Sam. Thanks for calling. We got to run the break. We got more on Dipsticks and Deals with you, me, Jimmy B, and the third wheel on Real Talk 1160.